So, what does it take to be a creator these days? It's not always about having the right budget or the right equipment, particularly in the genre of film or video content making. It's actually about having the right mindset, would you
So
say?
let's dive into that whole hustle through the story of filmmaker and producer Lee McLaughlin. Okay, right off the bat, this quote from Lee tells you pretty much everything you need to know about him.
Yeah, it's very telling.
He doesn't see himself as the star of the show, right? He's the mastermind behind the scenes, the one who assembles all the talent and just lets them loose to do their best work. So what does that Nick Fury role actually mean? Well, as an executive producer, Lee's job is so much more than just cutting checks.
Yeah, he's kind of the reality check for the entire creative project. Finding the right people, making sure everyone's on time, all those things.
He's building this sandbox so the story can actually come to life in it. Now, you might think someone in this position went straight through film school, but Lee's path? It was anything but a straight line.
Lee McLaughlin. Okay. Well, Lee McLaughlin is born in the 80s, venturous, grew up in that time period where everything was practical. But fast forward, let's get to about 2008, where had joined the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, which is now known as the Ohio Media School.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Hey, who knows? The award show is tomorrow, 6:30 at the Cinematique. If you guys can get tickets, it's $14. They're going to show the best show so the top 10 best films of the 48, which I think there are about 27 films altogether. The top 10, and then after that is the award show where we find out all of the fun stuff. And the thing is that if we win, the first place winner goes on to Filmapalooza, which is an international festival where because 48s take place all over the United States. It's not just us here; it's all over the United States. And when those are all done, and we all get the best films, they all go to this Filmapalooza, and then we have that battle there. It's who's the best film of Filmapalooza. Now,
and honestly, his journey is a perfect example of how all these different experiences can come together to build a totally unique creative toolkit.
In Portugal this year, in Spain. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I've never been out of the country, so I really hope we freaking win. You know what I mean?
Okay, now I'm understanding. He's a jack of all trades, and the Nick Fury reference.
Let's just follow this for a second. It kicks off in a place a lot of creators know well: radio. First at Disney back in '08, then CBS. But then, check out this jump in 2016 to a tour guide at the Christmas Story House. From there, he pivots to mentoring young filmmakers, which leads him right to co-founding his own production company. I mean, what a ride. And here's the key thing. None of these jobs were random. Think about it. Working live events at Disney, that taught him production on the fly. Being a tour guide, he was literally talking about movie making and storytelling all day, every day. And mentoring young creators, well, that sharpened his ability to lead a team. Every single step was a building block for the next. And all of those skills, they get put to the ultimate test in one of the most intense, high-pressure creative environments you can possibly imagine, the 48-hour film challenge. This is where all that theory smacks right into reality, and fast. For anyone who doesn't know, this is no small local contest. We're talking a global competition. You get a genre, a character, a prop, and a line of dialogue on a Friday night, and you have to hand in a completely finished 4 to 7 minute film by Sunday evening. The pressure is just immense. So in that 48-hour blur, Lee has to be way more than just a producer. He's the logistics guy, making sure everyone's fed and safe. He's the pragmatist, asking those tough questions like, can we really shoot this whole scene in 4 hours? And he's the first assistant director on set, just trying to keep the entire train on the tracks.
And let's be clear, this guy's a beast. His knack for bringing people together is crystal clear.
In just a few projects, the team he was working with ballooned from this small crew of, under 10 people to a powerhouse of 32 creatives. That just doesn't happen unless people trust your leadership and genuinely want to be part of the worlds you're building. And the stakes here are very real. We're not just talking about bragging rights. The winner of the city's competition goes on to Filmapalooza, an international festival that showcases the best films from all around the globe. This year, it's in Portugal. Yeah, talk about some serious motivation. So look, surviving that kind of pressure cooker requires more than just skill. It takes a very specific philosophy. Doing the work is one thing, but why you do it and how you think about it, well, that's the secret sauce. That's what separates the good from the great. Lee has this fantastic analogy to explain this balance. Walt Disney.
Okay.
And it really is funny. And I'm not just saying, it was more of what I learned after being at Disney, and not like in a brainwash kind of way. It was learning of actual Walt Disney, what people knew of him at the studios, and his realism to him. He was a creator first and foremost. You know what I mean? Like, without the creative side to imagine those things, it never would have happened. You need that creative person first, because if you can't think about it, it'll never exist. So that's the creative side, but then you need the business side. You need the paperwork side. Is, well, now how do we bring that into reality? Because if you can imagine it, and it's one of I think the most popular quotes of Walt Disney is, if you can imagine it, you can make it. And I believe that. And I think even more so with film, because if you can imagine it today, you absolutely can make it happen. It's just about how, and it's about the creators, and it's about the team of people once again.
See, there was Walt the artist, the dreamer, the what-if guy who imagined these incredible worlds. But there was also Walt the businessman, the producer, who had to figure out the how-to, how to actually build the theme park. You absolutely need both sides of that brain to make anything real. This piece of advice, it was apparently yelled at him on his very first day of broadcasting school, and it became a cornerstone of his career. In creative fields, the work is just too hard, and the hours are way too long to do it without an absolute burning passion. That's the fuel that gets you through the grind.
So, what are the big takeaways from his journey? It really seems to boil down to this. Stop waiting around to find your perfect niche. Just start making stuff. Use the ridiculously powerful tools you already have, like the phone that's probably in your pocket right now.
And I'll add, always say yes to opportunity.
But always be smart about which ones you chase.
And we come right back to this. This quote just perfectly sums up his whole collaborative spirit. It's not about individual ego. It's about shared creation and shared success. In a world that's so often focused on this solo creator, this whole we instead of me thing is incredibly powerful. Now, to put all this into perspective, it's pretty wild to realize that Lee's journey is happening inside this massive economic shift. The creator economy is already valued at $250 billion and is projected to more than triple by 2030. That means the opportunities for collaborative, story-driven creators like him have literally never been greater. Lee mentioned this idea in his interview, that there aren't really any truly original stories left, just original ways of telling them. So the question isn't whether you have a new story to tell. The real question is, with the tools you have and the passion you bring, what unique voice can you give to a story that needs to be told again through your eyes?
Behind Cleveland, Beyond Cleveland are BC Media Productions. Our stories and episodes are made possible by the generous support of BC Media, friends, supporters, sponsors, and community members like you. If you are moved or inspired by any of the conversations we have shared, interviews, or content we've produced, we invite you to become a vital part of our growing community. Please subscribe or follow us online at behindcleveland.com or on one of the many platforms where you find your favorite content.